Hey guys, and welcome back to another Elden Ring video. We are back with a top 5 faith weapons in Elden Ring right now. After the last patch, the 1.04, there were a lot of weapons that were buffed, a lot of incantations that were changed, and I think faith weapons right now are really fantastic because of the changes to a lot of the Ash of Wars. They've increased a lot of the cast time, they've increased the recovery time, they've done a lot to really make a difference. So I thought I would bring you a top 5 weapons right now that you can be using for faith builds. You need to check these out and really make sure you're using them because they are absolutely amazing and really strong. So our first weapon on the list, weapon number 5, is this one right here, this great colossal curved sword. It is the Magma Wyrm Scalesword. This is a curved greatsword, which means you get some really heavy hitting power. You get some amazing R2 like a stomp here. If you change it to one-handed, you get some fantastic moves as well. It's really quick for a curved greatsword. But the thing that is fantastic about the Magma Wyrm Scalesword is its Ash of War, and you can see here it's got a strength scaling in B and a faith scaling in B, and for my build here where I'm predominantly in strength and faith, this thing is absolutely smacking. It's got an 824 AR, that's before any buffs as well, and this thing here puts out a lot of damage with its Ash of War. And you get that follow-up as well, which is really great. It leaves magma all over the ground, which can do some chip damage. But you can see you can just hit this thing once. But if you do a follow-up attack, you get that double attack, and you also get a little back step, kind of like the Bloodhound's Fang, to get out of the harm's way and make sure that you're ready to do a follow-up attack, whether that's another one of your Ash of Wars or some quick poke damage. And you can see this thing in action right here. Our next weapon on the list is the Inseperable sword. This is a great sword that you get for completing Fear's questline and killing Dee's brother, and you can see this thing looks absolutely incredible, and it actually hits like a truck. I don't see many people talking about this because of a lot of the other fantastic great swords, but you can see here this has an 821 AR before any buffs. It's got fantastic scaling of B in faith. You also get strength and dex scaling. You can see here it does a lot of physical as well as holy damage, and the Ash of War is great for this because it gives a buff shooting out a light there of holy damage that has got really good range, and then it leaves the Sacred Sword buffed after as well. So you can see now already the AR's gone up to 916, plus you've got that first initial chip damage in there. This thing is absolutely awesome and it wrecks. You can see it in action right here. Our next weapon on the list are these right here, the Halo Scythe. This is a great weapon if you are going for a Dex Faith build, and it's also great just if you're predominantly going with Faith because of the Ash of War, which was buffed in the last update. Well, you can see here already this has got a great scaling there in Dex. However, you do get a lot of benefit in holy damage because of the Miquella's Ring of Light, and this thing is just so spammable. You can see here that you can cast it so quickly, and these Rings of Light do so much damage for a really low FP cost. What is also great about the Halo Scythe is the blood loss build up, so you can get a bonus there, and you can see this is doing nearly 7 AR a piece. So if you manage to power stance them, you can really take advantage of the amazing jumping R1 attack. and you can really do a lot of poke damage and just get out of there, proccing that bleed as well as spamming this Miquella's Ring of Light. This is an absolutely amazing weapon, and you can see it in action right here. Our next weapon on the list is this one right here, the Envoy's Longhorn. This is a great hammer. It's a strike weapon, and it does a lot of amazing physical damage with its jumping attacks. It's got a great quick moveset for hammers, and you can really take advantage of its fantastic damage. You can see here it's got an 802 AR without any buffs, doing holy damage as well. But the thing that really is amazing with the Envoy's Longhorn is its Ash of War. It shoots out a lot of bubbles, and even though this is quite a silly looking weapon, these bubbles have incredible damage. You can see it's a very quick cast time, it's got a lot of range, and these things absolutely melt bosses and also cause stagger damage, and you can see it in action right here. And our final weapon on the list is the Blasphemous Blade. This is the blade that you get from defeating Rykard, and a lot of people have realized how amazing this sword is. Not only does it have a fantastic quick greatsword moveset, that incredible jumping R2, and you also get a lot of great just physical damage from this at 846 AR before any buffs. You get a fire scaling as well as physical. This is a B scaling in Faith as well as C in both strength and dex at +10, and this thing hits like a truck. But the best thing about this thing is it's got that incredible Ash of War that is a huge burst of flame, Taker's Flames, and it's got a lot of range. It can be buffed really easily using lots of different buffs, and this thing also saps health back, so you really don't have to rely on your flask as much, and it's just an all-around incredible weapon that hits super hard, and you can see it in action right here. And finally, before we finish up the video, I have two honorable mentions. The first one is the Sacred Relic Sword. A lot of people have seen this because of its amazing ability to farm runes using the Wall of Gold here. This thing here, the Wave of Gold, is absolutely incredible for taking out trash mobs, and this is a great weapon to use against a lot of just the normal enemies in the game. But when it comes to bosses, I feel like this is just a tad too slow. Even though they did increase the cast time to make it much quicker, I still think it's much too slow. And then the other weapon that I really love is the we've got the black knife here, and the black knife is absolutely incredible as well. It's got a good scaling in both Dex and Faith, so again, if you're looking at a Dex Faith cross build, you can really get a lot out of this. And this also has an absolutely incredible Ash of War that you have the ability to jump, leap in the air, and send out a massive wave of light here. The Blade of Death, the ability is, and this saps life away from your targets, as well as does a lot of damage as well. And you've got a lot of great poise. Once you get in the air, you can't really be interrupted with this. Of course, this is a dagger, so you get incredible damage from any critical hits, including backstabs, parries, so this thing is fantastic as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know if there are any other weapons that I should have included on this list that I may not have checked out already. There are so many amazing weapons to use in Elden Ring. I'm really loving experimenting with all of them. Let me know what other weapons you've been using to make the most of your builds, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future, if any other Elden Ring content. I'm really enjoying experimenting with lots of different things. Again, thanks so much for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe.